Hello. Today we're going to look at the principal ways of delivering attacks with the longsword. Many people that are new to longsword wonder how can they attack, what kind of attacks can they deliver, and how should they actually be delivered. Some coming from maybe a sports background, perhaps think I can just sort of tap with the tip, maybe looking at scoring a point of some kind. That's not really of any use for what we're doing. We're looking at practicing a martial art, so we need to deliver martial techniques, as in techniques that can cut or damage or hurt our opponents in a way that can incapacitate them eventually and allow us to win the fight. The most common of these is called the Howen, or cutting, hewing in English, and it's ever so simple, it's just cutting. So if I bring Nick facing towards me, so if I step back here, I came in, I struck with the blade, and then cut across his body, that would be Howen. It could also be if I was striking from the side, if I came up, the blade struck, and then sliced across his body, that would be Howen as well, or striking to the top of the head, sliding forwards. But you'll notice there's a concussive action as I strike. So I don't just hit him, I hit, and the blade moves as well, it slides as it strikes. Now this is common for Eastern and Western styles of fencing. We're not hitting each other with clubs, so when we cut, we don't just sort of go and just hit like a troll. We actually need to strike, open up the flesh or the clothing, and then slice through. So this is called cutting in English, or hewing in English as well, and Hauen in German. The next type of attack we can deliver is slicing. Now slicing, it sounds very similar, but if you think when you're cutting a loaf of bread, you don't walk up to the bread and go, and then try and cut it. So when you want to cut the bread, you're already in contact with the bread, you push, and then you draw the blade forwards or backwards. So if I place the blade on Nick, which pop it on the shoulder, put pressure, and I slide it forwards or backwards. It could be on the arms, so if they were here, so I'm already in contact, so maybe I've come off the blade onto his arm, and then I put pressure, I had to push the blade against his body, and then I draw it across like a big sword, so I slice it across. Now it's not necessarily as strong as the cut, but if we deliver it against the neck or the arms or any exposed parts of the body, it can be quite damaging. The next way of attacking is using the tip. This is obviously blunted and rounded off, but it should be tapering into a point. And this is called stechen in German, stabbing. I'll show you, just use the tip. We drive into our opponent. It could be without footwork, so we might be moving around, and then we drive in. Obviously I won't push hard, because he's not armoured up, but you can see the blade bends slightly. Or we could drive in with some footwork. So it's quite straightforward. That's the stabbing action. So we've got the stabbing, stechen, so this one here. We've got the slicing, drawing the blade across the body, and we've got the cutting, or hewing. So from here, striking across our opponent. Now there are a couple of other ways of attacking, but those are the three most common, and the Germans call them the drei wunder, the three wounds or the three wonders. And when you're sparring, when you're practicing, they're the ones you're going to use all the time. There are two others, I'll very quickly show you them. The first is called the Mordschlag, the murder stroke, and it's striking using the cross guard. It's quite dangerous to do in a sparring context, but obviously in an actual martial context, you want it to be quite dangerous. And the Mordschlag is simply striking with this part of the sword. So the cross guard, possibly moving into the hilt a little bit, but the Mordschlag is generally the cross guard, driving in. So you can pull the blade out of the way and strike here. The Mordschlag is delivering with the cross guard. I kind of slipped into that one a little bit there. And the pommel strike, we can drive straight into the face. Again, quite dangerous to do when you're sparring. So if you're going to do it, it has to be done under control, because a full power strike with a pommel can cause damage to the neck, throw them onto the floor. It's a little bit hairy, so you need to watch that one. And the last one, the strangest, is striking with the flat. In Meyer's text, he actually shows a technique called the prellhau, which is delivered, well, it's strike delivered using the flat, as in like this. And it's used as a rebounding cut. So it's not designed to deliver any kind of major damage, but it's for bouncing around a blade, or obviously if you're just being a bit of a git, you can smack them with a blade. Not particularly martial then, but I'll explain it just for completeness. So just to go back again, we've got the cutting, we've got the slicing, we've got the stabbing, we've got the Mordschlag here, we have the pommel strike, striking with the pommel here. And any more? Flat. And the flat, of course, yes, I knew there was another one. And the flat, which of course is the least martial, but it is shown in Meyer, so we need to keep it in there for completeness. And that's it. Thank you.